2 days ago, I was complaining about the COVID thing, and now we're in the same room. This episode will definitely come out late, but that's okay. It's a fucking cracker of an episode. This is a warning. Please return to your homes. It is lockdown number 3 in Victoria. Hello, everybody. My name is Turch, and we are the We Only Do One Take podcast. It's the only podcast on earth that is a complete lockdown. Like I said, I am Turch, and with me is my co-host, the Lockdown King, the CEO. It's Kieran. How you doing, buddy?
I have to say, pretty crap. I'm doing this carnivore diet.
Oh,
And let's just say I've got the shits at the moment.
I'm back on keto just before the engagement party. I thought, how good will this be? I'll do a bit of keto before the engagement party, and then they put us into lockdown again. So as of time of this recording, it'll come out hopefully when the 5 day quick lockdown, quick circuit breaker lockdown happens. That we can go back. But yes, we're in full stage 4. Don't leave your house unless, not even if you had to go to the hospital, basically. Just only if you want to exercise, and that's about it. Don't leave the house.
That's about it. And I figured since I'm not leaving the house, I should really watch my diet, because otherwise,
Yeah, me too.
we got your engagement party coming up, and I want to look sexy. So I'm now trying the extreme weight loss. The weight loss diet, the carnivore diet.
I'm very proud of you.
Which is very good. You just get to eat meat.
That's pretty good. So you're just on the salami and Twiggy sticks then?
No, cooking myself steak. So,
well, there's that too. I mean, you can't have steak 3 meals of the day.
Oh, look, if I could,
Okay.
I would. Turch, I've got a rant for you.
Oh, please.
It looks like you've had a week, and I know I know I actually rang you up straight away when this happened. Because I had to rant to you. I had to rant to you right then and then, and it's still been bugging me.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the podcast world, I got yelled at by an adult,
and it wasn't Jess or Alice or Kate.
Someone I didn't know yelled at me. I'm very proud. I know the story needs to go back just a few days earlier. I'm wearing now. I'm wearing these active noise cancelling headphones. So they're not just like in the olden days where they used to say, these are noise cancelling headphones and you could still hear the people around you. These are premium active noise cancelling headphones. That is, if I put the dishwasher on and I put these headphones on and they switch on, I don't hear the dishwasher. But I can turn them off so I can hear the surrounds, but it actively stops all these noise. So anyway, I went out for a walk in this lockdown and was like, I'll take my active noise cancelling headphones. And I'm walking, minding my own business. Now, schools have ended. Schools have sort of finished.
Yeah.
And
teachers have been active for 2 weeks and then decided they needed a holiday. I'll tell you what, my mum calls me up about this lockdown and she just goes, men will do anything to get out of Valentine's Day. And I'm like, Mum, this is why you need to be on social media for these one-liner zingers. Anyway, I stole her joke.
Oh, that was a good zinger. Well done, her.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I'll give her credit next time I see her.
Well, you got to have her on the podcast.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get her on.
Get her on the podcast. That'd be lovely. So anyway, I'm walking. School's finished. The school zone's in, and here in Victoria, we've got the crossing walks. That help kids cross roads safely.
With a lollipop lady.
The lollipop lady. And so you got to stand behind the line and wait. And I'm standing behind the line because there's another kid there with a parent, and she blows her whistle, and which means we can now cross the road. And I'm crossing the road, and then I didn't even think, but I just walk across the road. I walk across the road and then onto the footpath.
Yeah.
And then I'm walking and I'm walking and I'm walking. Like, it's weird that the cars haven't started to move yet. Like, why aren't the cars moving? And I just faintly hear this, like, whistle being continually blowed. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I turn around And then I could take my headphone off to be like, what's going on? She's like, don't cut the corner. Sorry, I cut the corner. I didn't walk completely in between this two lines on the road onto the footpath. I cut the corner. So I waved her off, told her to fuck off, go away, Karen, and continued on my journey. Now I've made it a deliberate attempt. I'm like, right, I am going to now go for some afternoon walks and deliberately cross the road when she's working and cut the corner again. But then we ended into lockdown.
Oh, there you go. So she'll be back hopefully in a couple of days.
So I hope to bring an update to this. Do this. We rant number 2 when I'm. Kieran takes on the lollipop lady.
Lollipop Lady Part 2. That's very exciting. I'm very proud of you. This is the state that we're in at the moment.
And I was just like,
angry.
What are you doing yelling at an adult? Yell at the kids.
Yeah. You were jaywalking. Let's put it out there. If she had a gun, she would have shot you.
Yeah. I know I cut like a meter off. Took a shortcut. Oh no. Ooh. Arrest me.
They give these people like
it's
power.
Fake power. It's fake power.
Fake power. Yeah, exactly right. They give them that little bit of authority. They give them a whistle. I think that was the downfall, giving them all a whistle and giving them a high-vis jacket. Because we all know with a high-vis jacket, a whistle and a sign that says stop.
And they can stop traffic when they want.
Stop traffic when they want to. That's way too much power for these people who are obviously too old. They're all over, like, they're going to be in retirement age, most of them, I would say. I've never seen like a young, like a 22-year-old go, you know what I want to do in my life? Yeah. That's a volunteer job, I think. I don't think.
No, they get paid. They get paid by the council, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
They get paid.
Well, they pay 2 hours a day.
No, they've got an hour and a half. I think it's 3 hours.
3 hours
It's
a day.
crap times, though, because you got to work. You work in the morning, and then you got to be back on in the afternoon.
I guess if you're...
What do you do during the rest of the day? I mean, unless you're getting paid for 8 hours, like, bloody hell, I'll take that job.
This is the council we're talking about.
Yeah.
I can stand outside for a couple of hours a day.
And
Will that go over their 2 hours of allotted, or is that different to their allotted outside time according to this government at the moment? This is what I don't understand. This is what I very much don't understand about this lockdown. So the government's come out and gone, okay, we can definitely, you can't go, no one can leave. It's a full lockdown. You can only go do exercise outside for 2 hours a day. Nothing but essential workers can work. Tennis, though.
And professional athletes.
Yeah, professional athletes can, look, they shortened the time the footy was played during the COVID stuff, but tennis games, especially the men's games, can be played for 4, 5, 6 hours. How is this safe?
Turch, I know you're not a fan of the tennis. I know you'd rather watch paint dry than tennis. Yeah. But it's been very good. We're being in lockdown and now we get to watch the tennis all day. For tennis fans, this is a dream come true.
The tennis should have been stopped. If they had to stop the Olympics, our little thing of tennis here should have 100... Why bring in... Why cause the risk of bringing people in that we didn't have to bring in? They're actually leaving people, actual Australians in other countries that want to come home for professional athletes. That's just ridiculous to me. But if you really want to safely transport people, because apparently we had too many sick people at a water leak at our hotel, we had to move those people. Did you see this today?
I did, yeah.
Covering people in garbage bags, actual literal black, big bin garbage bags, and people are like, oh, it's for security purposes, so people don't know who they are. And I'm like, who cares? I don't care about the person who's got COVID. If you've got COVID, that's a horrible thing to have. You'll most likely survive, but it's a horrible thing to have. I don't care. What I do care about is the fact that we've got to hide their identity. The best idea that we can come up with as a government is put garbage bags on their heads. That's like the gold standard that they're claiming at the moment, and yet they want us to be in a 4th stage lockdown.
Hey, as long as the lockdown's lifted for your engagement party, I'm happy.
I need to have like 4 million beers.
And I meant to go to work on Thursday, so if we can just have it, extend that lockdown just one day, I'll be, just one day, I'll be very happy.
No more days. You fuck off and go to work. Jess wants to go back to work. You know what? Pull a fucking sickie. Say that you got a COVID test.
No, I do.
Call it the next day. All clear. It's all good.
I do feel very sorry for Jess and others that all of a sudden, can't work. I think
every single restaurant would have been packed out because of Valentine's Day. All the florists, everyone that would have just got, people who probably postponed their weddings for 6 months, a year, finally could have their wedding on the weekend, and they had to
cancel.
Weddings were cancelled.
Bloody outrage. The fact that we didn't even go to like the one of the lesser tiers of just have a couple of people be outdoors, etc., etc., etc.
I think there was a better option, and I think that better option is...
That's it. We're starting the We Only Do One Take podcast party.
Yeah, I know. As soon as we get enough people, I'm starting my own cult for tax write-off purposes.
We're going to that too, and then I think we'll start a political party. And
that's pretty good.
But I want you to know that, Church, I'm not going to be running for Premier or Supreme Leader. I'm clearly just want to be a backbencher.
Yeah.
Earning my 200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Ideally in the opposition or a person that doesn't actually have much say. Do some yelling, eat some lunches.
Third parties. One of the not one of the two big parties.
Just third party. So they don't really do much. And do my 8 years and get my pension.
Yeah. Is it 8 years or is it 4 years for your pension?
I think it's 8 years. I think you got to do 2 terms.
Years. Yeah, maybe that's the case.
So
I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked into scamming the system as much as you have.
Now that's a scam. That's a scam.
That's definitely a scam. Well, I've got a rant. I've got a rant for you.
Yeah.
It's a completely different type of rant.
Excellent. I feel like you just did a rant then about the government.
No, but I'll rant about the government every single day of the week.
And taxes.
The issue with
if you're playing bingo along at home,
yeah, fucking cross that shit up. Here's one for you. Here's a regular, everyday, ordinary man rant. Every so often, I like a good soft drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of Coke and I'm a fan of lemonade. But the Schweppes lemonade...
Mm-hmm.
Schweppes lemonade is definitely the best. Like Sprite tastes like poison compared to Schweppes lemonade. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, Schweppes is a good band. Yeah.
It's good. Anyway,
Sprite's not a lemonade.
Yeah, well, it's you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent, I guess. Yeah. So I go to my garage. Pull some cans out of the garage and put it in the fridge. You know what's annoying? Cans that don't stack. Did you know Coke cans don't stack?
I did not know that.
So I'm putting out some cans. I'll just stack them on top of, and carry them to the fridge from the garage.
Oh, la-di-da. Someone's got a garage. A garage. Oh.
It's called a car hole. It's called the grooming salon. That's what it is. I have 2 cars and none of them go into my garage. But yeah, the Coke cans don't stack. Whereas the Schweppes lemonade ones do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, I prefer...
You prefer Schweppes?
Prefer the Schweppes. And I think the Pepsi cans apparently stack as well.
Yeah, because I once made a seat out of Pepsi cans.
Yeah, but the Coke cans, they don't stack. And I think that's just... for a convenience aspect to... like, for people. Like, tuna cans stack.
Yeah.
Bean cans stack. Cans of tomatoes stack.
Chairs stack.
Chairs stack sometimes, depending on the chair. Stackable chairs, obviously. But when it comes to cans, the things that you want to stack should stack. And I think the cans of Coke should be able to stack. And I have a feeling that they used to be able to.
See, I don't know this because all the Coke cans or the Coke Zero cans in my place are in the in the vegetable drawer.
Right. Of course, you're on a. I was gonna say that just because you're on your meat carnivore diet at the moment. No, that's always the case.
That's always the case. Yeah.
Do you guys even have vegetables at your house?
What vegetables? What are you talking about?
Vegetables are good for you.
No. We do have vegetables. They just sort of.
I'm amazed that you've gone the meat like carnivore diet, and instead of being backed up with shit, you're just shitting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would have thought it would have been the other way around.
What do you mean?
Like, I would have thought that you would have been constipated.
Oh, constipated. No. I've been reading about this. This is the yucky part of the podcast where, medical stuff with Kieran. It's to do with bacteria. And your body's not... my body's obviously not used to the a lot of protein. It's used to more carbs. So it doesn't have the bacteria... so at the moment, my body's sort of... Oh my God, I felt like I was like dying and I had the sweats and... Anyway, I had some electrolytes, feeling much better.
Oh, that's good.
But, it's something to do with the bacteria, yada, yada, yada. It's as complicated as I know. No, apparently it stops soon.
Well, I'm glad you're the doctor, not me. That's all I'm going to say.
Very, very...
Another one's people not responding.
Yeah.
Like, I've sort of said this a few times now, but I jammed with this band, and they're like, "Oh, we might have a gig coming up, like later on in the year, this that." And I thought, "Oh yeah."
Which band?
I didn't get it. Oh, don't worry. And I thought, yeah, just give me a call back if you need a guitarist. Let me know. And it was been like a month and a half, and they only just got back to me today. And I'm like, if you didn't want me, just tell me. It's laziness. Same as the event organizer for this engagement party. I've been trying to confirm with her what jugs of cocktail we're gonna get. Like important things.
All right. Some people may have missed this. Just give a quick overview of the event organizer for your engagement.
Oh, the event organizer. At the absolute last minute, and I'm talking like a month ago for an event that's happening in 2 weeks, decided to tell us that the venue itself does not do catering anymore, and we're going to have to go to a third-party caterer. Also, we're going to have to increase the cost of the bar tab, the minimum spend, and you're going to have to tell me we're going to have to pay for security, and a whole bunch of other little things that we're just like, no. So... I just got the contract out and fought like crazy. Anyway, long story short, we're not paying the extra $3,000 she was trying to chuck onto us. We're getting more food because I was able to talk to the caterers like a human being and a pushy person that I am. And we're not paying for security, and they're giving us 8 jugs of cocktails.
Which is very nice. And I believe you met with her in person.
Yeah, she was okay in person, and then she was meant to send us an email about everything, and still waiting for that email. Mm-hmm. That was a while ago now.
Oh, she's working from home. It's very stressful.
Oh yeah, it's hard to answer one email. Like, it's real hard. When she said she would get back to us first, I've even done you a favor. How's this? I've done you a favor. Instead of you having to come into the venue and signing in and everything like that, I've already signed in on your behalf.
Me?
That's it. So when you rock up, you don't have to do the scanny code thing, everything like that. Rock up.
That's wonderful.
And you're good. You're good to go.
You've given the list of names.
I've given a list of names.
That's very good. I'm ready to party at the engagement party.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to say it's the tennis.
Yeah.
And you're all coming to watch me play tennis.
Okay.
It's very easy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for some news.
Sure. Have you got something for us?
Oh, I've got a few articles here, Turch. Always prepared with a few articles. News that we may have missed around the world.
Of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica. What's happening in Jamaica, you ask?
What is happening in Jamaica, Kieran?
Well, Jamaica faces a marijuana shortage as farmers struggle. Jamaica is running low on ganja. Heavy rains followed by an extended drought and an increase in local consumption and a drop in the number of marijuana farmers have caused a shortage in the island's famed but largely illegal market that experts say is the worst they've ever seen.
So wait, the market in...
So it's illegal.
Jamaica.
It's illegal in Jamaica to smoke marijuana.
Right, but not
But
to
it's-
grow it?
But it's, well, I think to grow it as well. But it's, I feel like it's sort of like one of those, we'll just turn a blind eye. It's a cultural embarrassment, said Tristan Thompson, who is the Chief Opportunity Explorer.
That sounds like a job title you made up.
That is a great job title.
That's
Chief
a great job title.
You're in the C-suite, Chief Opportunity Explorer.
All that guy had to say 2 years ago was, say, Bitcoin. What do you think? And the country would never have gone bankrupt.
Jamaica, which foreigners have long associated with pot, reggae, and Rastafarians, authorised a regulated medical marijuana industry and decriminalised small amounts of weed in 2015. So if you're caught with less than 2 ounces or less, you just pay a small fine and there's no arrest.
Right.
So, but heavy rains have come along and destroyed their industry.
You know what? Like, Australia pays farmers to not grow crop, and they also pay them...
Do we? To not...
Oh, yeah.
What?
Or, yeah. Or we pay them to make as much as we can and then subsidise them, and then they just have to chuck it out.
Yeah, right.
You know? I think that both countries might have a solution for each other. Because Australia is very fertile.
It is a very fertile country, yes,
Very
that's
fertile.
right.
And we've got a lot of farmers not doing too much. Apart from complaining on Landline about how there's no rain. So I think that we can, we've got as much solar power as you need.
Have you watched Landline?
Sorry?
Have you watched Landline on the ABC?
Not in a long time, but goddamn.
What a show. Regional remote Australia is just so different to main Australia. And the issues that they have. It's just... It's... I feel like we should do... What's that? We should do running commentary.
I lost my cattle on a 52 square kilometer ranch.
Yeah. Or there's some ranches that are bigger than Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just, I remember Top Gear drove through one, remember?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're still driving, and they drove for like 4 hours, and like, it's still the same guy's ranch.
Ranch, yeah.
Oh, amazing. I don't know why we just don't, okay, we may not have it legalized for use, but at least legalize growing it and exporting it.
Yeah, we should be able to export it, I reckon.
Well, especially the countries that have it legal.
Yeah.
Who cares? If you just legalize it, then people have the opportunity to grow it.
These drugs are going to be decriminalised, I reckon, in Australia 10 to 15 years. Within 10 to 15 years. Yeah.
For sure for 10, 15 years, but I think by then we would have missed the boat. Just like, by Europe will have it done by then, and then we just, it'll be too late for us Australians to sort of jump. You've got to be an early adopter, I think.
That's right. You've got to be the early adopter. What do you have for us, Church?
Early adopter. I've got 2 articles here. And a third article that'll lead me into the podcast we're going to have a listen to today.
Okay.
But two articles here that I categorize under the category of I'm glad that you paid lots of money for your journalism degree. Or this is hard-hitting journalism. Like, either way, I don't care. You'll understand. So this is the first article. First Lady Jill Biden wore a scrunchie while shopping and people felt so seen. This is a real article.
What?
So the whole article is the headline. It's like The Onion, but it's real. First Lady Jill Biden wore a scrunchie while shopping and people felt so seen. That's a real thing. So
What, am I just not getting it? What do they mean by so seen?
So she went out, Jill Biden, went out to the shops the day before Valentine's Day or the day of Valentine's Day and picked up some groceries, and she was wearing a scrunchie.
But she's the first lady. I didn't think she had to do any grocery shopping at all.
Okay. Number one. Number two, I wouldn't think a first lady would go out just wearing a scrunchie. But apparently because she wore a scrunchie, this 80-year-old woman...
Yeah.
While doing shopping, people felt like they related to her, and that's why they felt so seen.
Oh, okay.
That's a real article. Someone's like, yes, and then an editor's gone, yes, and put it up on the website. Multiple websites I found this article of slightly different variants of this article's headline and story. About this, I'm completely baffled at why this is a real thing. You know,
I'm just amazed she went out to the shops. I didn't think they could do that. I thought Secret Service would be all over that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe just people don't know who she is because she's like just a regular old woman.
Because apparently the president, right? When the chefs for the president, they go out and people can't know that they work for the president, like they cook for the president, because they've just got to go to like normal shops and markets and buy food.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then they bring it back.
Enough.
Because as soon as you know it's like a VIP, someone could tamper with something. Yeah. So I'm amazed that she was able to go buy her own food.
I just saw that Joe Biden had a video put up on like the White House thing, posted on his social medias and all that sort of stuff, and like less than 3,000 people watched the video. I'm like, that's pretty low numbers. It's pretty low numbers across the board, but that's okay. I got another one here. So again. Is this even journalism? This is the real headline from Vice, so you know it's a quality news source. I tried not to come while playing the adult games advertised on Pornhub. So I'm just going to read some excerpts of this. Because
go on.
The more I listened... So, it's a very easy... I spent a lot of time... Okay, so this is a real thing. This is a woman, Samantha Cole. I spent a lot of time looking at Pornhub for my job, and there's one type of ad on the site I can't get out of my head. The visuals change, but the copy is often the same, presenting me with a kind of challenge or dare, perhaps with a hint of hostility. Try not to come while playing this game. I'm just going to keep going down up the little things here.
What job does she have where she gets to watch porn all day?
So she's on Pornhub on Motherboard by Tech by Vice. So she's a Vice writer, I guess. Here we go. I started my porn game viewing Quest at home as opposed to the Vice open office floor because I didn't know what will unfold on my screen. I began to click the first video that appeared in the hot porn videos in the United States section of Pornhub's homepage. Teen gets her yoga pussy licked by mum's BFF. The first banner ad next to the video is Cum Shot, the game. Cum Shots, the game. My apologies, in case you want to play it at home. This says it's a family affair simulator, but when I click through it, it takes me to a page rotating short clips of 3D animated porn of fantasy characters, blowjobs, and two dicked men, and what looked like the rabbit cop from Zootopia. I clicked through and I'm asked a questionnaire, one full page per question, and those animated porn characters rotating in the background. It asked me to choose my gender. I choose male. My sexual partner, Liliana or Verisa. I choose Verisa and wonder why it's assumed that I'm a straight male. Choosing between my dick size, small, medium, large, or massive. I choose massive, which is the width of a skateboard, according to the helpful aid of the visual CGI person. And choosing my sexual partner's breast size. And I choose massive, which is like a set of beach balls on a woman that we wouldn't be able to stand. So they ask her a bunch of questions, but this is where it sort of gets a bit weird for me. Okay. People forget that it goes like this until I reach the screen where I ask for my credit card. People from New York need to provide a form of age verification. You will not be charged. We will require New York law to verify the age of the players. said this like, there's no law in New York, United States requiring adult websites to age gate their services using credit card information. There's no way I'm inputting my personal credit card information, so wait until I'm back in the office and start the process all over again with a Vice credit card. So she has been able. So she does all this at home.
Yeah.
Then she gets to the stage
for work.
for work, and then she goes, you know what? I'm going to go back to work, grab the company credit card, and put all of this on the company credit card. So shall we try and find out if she actually came at all? So she played games as quality as Call of Booty, Grand Fuck Auto, World of Warcraft, Tetris.
These are great.
Cyberfuck. I know. So according to to Call of Booty, your final review so far, I haven't even tried to not come. Grand Theft Auto definitely did not come. World of Warcraft, no come. Tetris did not come or attempt not to come and nearly endangered my computer. And Cyberfuck, which is a rip-off of the board game Cyberpunk 2020. The instructions are about pleasing a woman, maybe I will come today. Despite these very sexual instructions, it's a goddamn puzzle game, and I'm awful at puzzles. Somehow I die trying to solve this one. I've had it. Final review, I did not come. She also plays Gotham Sluts, going all the way. And at the end, the 7 games and narrowly avoided a $40 charge on my company's credit card later. Did I have to try not to come? No, not even a little bit. Not coming was effortlessly easy. In fact, I may never again. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that this person went to possibly some sort of higher education. It's very expensive in the US over there. It's probably $100,000. And then this is the kind of schlock she has to write.
Top quality journalism.
I like how this is what she's...
At least, you know what? At least she is one of the journalists that has actually documented, as part of her story, her investigation.
But this would have been a far better YouTube video than it would have been an article. Like, have you ever watched the Angry Video Game Nerd? Or
Angry Video Game Nerd? No.
Or do you watch any reviewers on YouTube that review video games at all?
Church, I don't play video games.
Yeah, no, I haven't played in a long time, but it's nostalgic for me. AVGN's been around forever, and guys like JonTron and stuff like that.
Unless it's Mario Kart 64, I have no interest. Oh, Donkey Kong or GoldenEye.
Well, it would have been funnier if she made a video and showed some.
It would have been.
Screen footage, some footage of it, and all that sort of fun stuff. But anyway, maybe that's something you should also research for the show, and maybe we can do an audio version of it.
Top quality.
I tried
I'll put it on the
but for $49 or whatever it was. You know how much porn you could buy for $49? Infinite.
There's so much porn out there that you don't even need to pay for porn.
Infinite because torrents exist and Pornhub exists.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Unless you want to pay for people who are on OnlyFans.
That's true. That's like a couple of weeks, I guess, depending on how much of a wiffle ball bat you want them to stick up their ass. You got some more news for us?
Oh, I do indeed, Turge. Very, 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 very fascinating. Can you tell that I'm stalling for time because I've lost my article?
That's okay. You have plenty of time to get the articles, buddy boy. That's all right.
No, it's up now. French workers can now eat lunch at their desks without breaking the law.
Oh, that's great. That's very exciting.
So, I was reading this article and I was actually like, well, you know what? Australia needs to take some productivity tips out of from France. Because apparently the lunch break in France has long been considered sacrosanct. And basically, they are allowed to go out and to like a restaurant and have a 2 or 3 course meal with their colleagues.
Yep.
At like a nearby restaurant bistro, and then come back later to work.
Yeah. So
you start work, and then you go away for a couple of hours, eat, socialise, and then come back and do a little bit more work, and then go home.
But you can do that. I think it's because you work in a school type environment. You've got set times. Whereas like my cousin, like, he takes the kids to school and then works a bit and he takes the kids home. Then after that, he works in the evening. You can do that.
Oh, I think it's bloody brilliant. But anyway, COVID came along and then they weren't allowed to go out and they weren't allowed to eat lunch. Now, the French workers can now eat their lunch at their desks.
They're 3-course meals.
Well, they can have some 3-course meals, but it's got to be at their desk.
I don't know. I mean, becoming a bit more common eating my lunch at my desk.
I don't like eating my lunch at my desk.
Well, you know what? Because eating for me, like, with work, is not something I don't... I just eat, get it done. Like, it's like 2-3 minutes worth of food and then done. Because at lunchtime, I'd rather go for a walk and spend my time doing that. And I can eat and walk. I can eat and read emails. As long as I'm not in a meeting, it's all good. I've been doing protein shakes lately, so you know the pain.
1, 2, 3. All right. Church, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I cannot hear you.
I can hear you, buddy boy. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, what the fuck happened? And we're back, everybody. Sorry about that technical difficulty there.
Well, we're now in the same room, which is amazing.
It's just amazing how it works.
So, 2 days ago, I was complaining about the COVID thing, and now we're in the same room. This episode will definitely come out late, but that's okay. It's a fucking cracker of an episode.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to finish editing it at work tomorrow morning, so it'll be out Friday. But anyway, very exciting. We're now going to move on to the best part of the show, I reckon.
It's always a good time.
And this is the part where we consult. Well, it's called the podcast consultants.
We need a theme tune. You got to think of a theme tune. We'll write one together.
Do 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 do.
All right. Have I got?
I can't write music.
I know.
I'm a music appreciator.
That's very true.
I've got no music abilities. Apart from you having that like audio of me going pew 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 pew.
That's a good one. You sang on a track for the Karaoke Big E guys.
I did.
That worked out a lot better than I expected. I think it worked out a lot better than you expected too. But that's okay.
Oh, ye podcast consultant. Oh, that just sounds crap. I'm just really embarrassed that I just did that.
That's all right. You're editing, so you can clip it and make it.
I won't.
Something
fantastic.
So
we got to. But before we do this, we got a message from one of our dear listeners, user 518763221, who messaged us saying that I gave a very good public service announcement.
You did
about how your phone can bing your watch can bing your phone if you've lost your phone.
Amazing.
And I responded to that going, I don't even remember saying that.
That's what happens to these shows.
People go, oh, you said this thing. And I'm like, did I?
Yeah. One, you don't listen to these shows back, even when you edit them. But two...
some of them I do.
Yeah, it's very true, very true. Well, we're up to our favourite part of the show. It's something that we've been... I think this is going to live on forever. Eventually, this is probably going to just become the show.
Yeah.
Well, we're up to the podcast consultants bit, and this is the most fun part of the show. So I'm bringing in to you, Kieran.
Yeah.
I know that you're single and ready to flamingle.
Uh-huh.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
I thought I'd find myself...
You've enrolled me in The Bachelor, haven't you?
Bachelorette,
or love at first sight or
whatever.
No,
I want to see you fight for a woman's love that you may or may not like. The Bachelorette. Going.
Oh, so I got to stand there and get the rose.
The rose.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't want you to have the pick of 25 women. One that's decision fatigue galore.
Yeah.
So what I've got here for you is...
they'll make me out to be the nerdy doctor.
Yeah, well, you are.
Academic jock.
Welcome to the podcast. So you can't do that. Yes, I can. So what I've got for you is a dating advice expert / coach does this podcast. Her name is Erin Tillman. Mm-hmm. And I'll just let her. Now, I found this through an old podcast I used to listen to. She came on 2 episodes of a show called The Biggest Problem in the Universe, which is basically how we structure this show. I don't know you haven't listened to that show, but it's one of my favorite podcasts of all time. But she came on to that show, and she was absolutely the worst person as a podcast personality to come on another show.
You mean worse than Niall?
Worse than Niall.
When it was just Niall and I.
Okay, well look, let's just let her introduce herself.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name is Erin Tillman. I'm an inclusive dating empowerment coach, certified sex educator, speaker, and author known as the Dating Advice Girl. For over 12 years, I've been empowering and coaching singles by helping them to improve their social skills, communication skills, and get clear on their dating goals and objectives, intersecting with identity, orientation, and lifestyle. Relationships and friendships are not one size fits all, but boundaries, consent, and respect are important parts of the dating process to have an exciting and meaningful connection with others. Listen, learn, and laugh with me on this journey of sex-positive self-discovery. Thanks for listening.
All right, so that's a good introduction to this character here. Are you excited to learn?
I was like, it's not a bad introduction.
Not a bad introduction.
The music in the background was sort of a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those corporate songs, like they play in the back of like BP ads.
Yeah.
To try to inspire you.
I feel like I was in one of those, team meetings at work, and they've got the corporate training that we've got to do, and it's, I'm John. I'm Samantha.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about sexual harassment today.
Well, you're going to learn a lot about that because she just ran a seminar about what is masculinity.
Okay. What is a certified sex educator?
I don't know because otherwise I've certified you, Kieran, as a certified sex educator.
Thank you very much. Now I'm going
to... and I know my pussy's good.
Yeah.
So we're all good to go. I think... So she just ran a seminar with a bunch of other panels, and we'll hear about them. And this is just a follow-up from that sort of from that panel that they did about what is masculinity and masculinity in the modern world. Now, I would think that if a man decided to run a panel called "What is Femininity," people would be very angry if there was a man on the panel.
Right, okay, yeah.
And in this case here, I don't know, I guess people just don't care enough that there's a female on the panel talking about masculinity. But the people she chose to come onto the panel are just as crap as her.
I feel like men are sort of like, there's a masculinity thing. Oh, I'm going to keep just doing what I do anyway.
Well, So let's have a look here. Let's have a look.
Finished my workshop around the new masculine and masculinity and what it means.
By the way, I did not edit the audio in any way. This is how she released it.
Okay.
So it comes straight out of that introduction there. Let's just hear that little fumble with the mic. Again, you could easily do this again.
Finished my workshop around the new masculine and masculinity and what it means to be masculine. And it was so great. My panelists were awesome. The participants were awesome. And I just wanted to pop in here and bring on some of the panelists to talk about their takeaways from the conversation around what it even means to be masculine or what masculine even is.
So, she's bringing on the panelists to talk about what they learned from the panel.
From the conversation.
Now, that's a really weird thing for me to say.
I was also going to say, can a female be masculine? Like, they're talking about masculinity. Does it apply to all genders?
Well, we're going to find out
Does
more.
it apply to one gender? Does it apply to one biological sex? Or both biological sexes?
We're going to find out about what these people learn. But I like the fact that the panelists... Usually, if you go to see a panel of people, they're the experts, and you learn something.
I was gonna say, every time I've gone to something, yes, that's pretty much...
You're not going to go to a panel about a television show and you're telling them about the television show.
I've been a panelist.
Yeah.
And I've disagreed with other panelists.
Yeah.
And if someone said, what did you learn? I would say, those other people are still idiots.
Yes.
Because I'm on this panel because I'm an expert.
That's right. That's right. So, this is the first guest,
Okay.
Here we go. We're going to start with Kevin Patterson, polyamory educator, and...
So it's Kevin, and he's a polyamory educator.
What the fuck is a polyamory educator?
I'm not quite sure, and I don't know why he's decided to go onto a panel about masculinity. But that's okay. Let's learn more about this Kevin character with the worst introduction ever.
Kevin was dropping some gems, Dropping gems. Hi again. Yay.
Hey.
So we just did this whole hour and a half long talk about masculinity and what it means to be masculine and who makes up these rules. And so what's like one takeaway that you got from all the awesomeness everyone shared around what it even means to be masculine, or what any of the masculine things we talked about?
Why can't you speak?
Why can't you just ask the question?
There's one question. What did you learn from this panel?
The whole point about being a good moderator is to actually do not much talking.
Yes.
Your introduction should be short and sharp and sweet.
This is Kevin. He's a polyamory educator. What did you learn from this panel? Very easy.
Yeah,
We've listened to 3 minutes of her talking and she said nothing. And I think that's a big thing with this podcast in particular, because I listened to about 3 or 4 other episodes and she says so much yet so little. You know when that thing is like less is more?
Yeah.
Or for her, more is less.
If you can't do it simply, you don't know your
brevity.
topic very
Brevity
well.
is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
Like that's like, it comes like Shakespeare said that. It's about jokes, but it's about everything else as well. So let's find out what this Kevin character, polyamory educator.
I love how he's a character now. Is he in a cartoon book?
Well, we're gonna find out why I think he's a character.
I think one of the major takeaways is that like we need more. Basically, we need more. We need more people who are willing to be buzzkills. We need more people who are willing to like work intentionally towards being positive with their masculinity. We need more role models. We need more modeling in general. Like I know for me, like I like looking at Captain America and Steven Universe, where like no one looks at Captain America and forgets that he's manly, but he uses his strength, he uses his responsibility, uses his personal ethic like in ways to protect and defend and like to
What? Hang on. What is the So normally when you're talking about a panel, or you have a panel, there's some kind of problem.
Yeah.
Right? Or there's some kind of like, is masculinity toxic?
Yes.
Or and so you might define masculinity.
Yeah.
And then you might go, this is where it's potentially toxic.
So he says a few things.
Right, but we need more of what? Captain America? Do we need more Captain Americas?
No.
Do we need more Captain Underpants?
Why does it?
Because I could be Captain Underpants.
Imagine
wearing your underpants every day as a superhero.
No, well,
We're
Superman
like the
does it too.
We're the superheroes of Melbourne, and we're both like Captain Underpants. And we
Superman wears these underpants on the outside too, but
yeah, I think Batman's better.
only if Catwoman would. Who knows? But I like. Why is it with these type of people?
What the fuck is he saying?
Why is it with these type of people they always have to relate it back to superheroes? Like, why? It's always like, oh, what about the Marvel Avengers? And it's, funnily enough, this will come back later in the show.
Do you know what this is? And I'm sorry, America. This is Americans being overconfident and not actually knowing anything.
It sounds like that.
I actually want the people who are like, oh no, I don't have anything to say. No, you've got plenty to say.
Less is more?
Yeah, you've got plenty to say because you're an expert. But these people are ignorant and then think they know everything because they're going off about more Captain Underpants.
Yeah. So let's continue on. I've got this clip. It's called So Long. What the fuck is he talking about?
Okay.
So,
all right. I'm going to sit back.
The thing that I like to do is like I try not to divorce myself of it as if like I'm somebody who's different or better or more, enlightened or anything like that. Like, but when I see a friend of mine, saying something or doing something that reads to me as problematic, I say like, hey, is that who we're trying to be? Is that the group is that the group that we're in? Is that what we're doing right now? And so now it's like, not only do you have to take responsibility for it, but I do as well. And the whole group has to take responsibility for it. So if my man's going to be problematic, he's got to be ready to label all of us problematic. And everybody has to be willing to be problematic alongside him. And not everybody's there for that. And, because I'm not there for that.
So...
Okay. You're going to have to translate that for me. Because
I read so many notes about this. And he's basically saying, let's just say we're at a pub.
He can't even give me an example. Because in my mind, I'm like, can you give me a concrete example?
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah.
This is how I'm picturing it.
Okay,
He's
we're at a
going,
pub.
We're in a pub.
Now, what beverage are you drinking?
It doesn't matter.
No, but this is very
We're
important.
both having delicious Mountain Goat beers.
Okay, and a meal? Do we have a meal?
We just finished our Palmers.
We've just finished our
We're
Palmers.
on our second pot.
We're
A
at-
pint.
Pint.
We're good to go.
Yeah, Mountain Goat.
That's right.
Is it dark ale?
No, because we're still early in the night and still light out, so we've got a nice.
Because I do like the
nice
dark
night.
ale.
We're talking about that, and we're going to move that to later on in
Alright,
the night.
good. Okay.
After a couple of whiskeys.
All right, we're going to have... All right, so this is... All right, good. I just need to know where we are. Our listeners need to know where we are in this
I'm
setting.
setting the scene.
Yeah,
It's a-
good.
You know, and the light cascades over the beer garden that we're sitting in. Right.
Okay.
And one of our friends says an off-colored joke
Hmm.
that's, maybe a little bit sexist towards women.
Yeah.
Or, a little bit racist. Racial.
Yeah.
Like a funny joke. That's
funny
what I'm
joke.
talking about. Right? One of us should go to them, hey, actually, you shouldn't say that, because by you saying that, we are all, as a collective group, racist.
No.
Or sexist. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then he says, I know that I'm not.
Yeah.
But because I'm in the vicinity of someone doing this,
Uh-huh.
in the group that I'm in,
Yeah.
I must also take on the responsibility. That's what he said in that statement.
Okay.
So this is a lot of projection. This is the word projection. So I just think he feels uncomfortable around other people. For a polyamory person who will fuck anybody,
Yeah.
he's really closed-minded.
But jokes are funny. Satire's funny.
I don't know. That's why I mean he doesn't. I think he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too. He wants his cake and eat it, to have his cake and eat it too, type of thing. He wants it both ways. He wants to be a good person because he's calling someone out, but he also wants to be a good person. But he knows that he's part of the bad crowd, but he also knows that he's not. That he wants everything. He wants to be only looked at in a good light. So that's what he learned. He learned that he's going to be trying to be more like Captain America and to call out his friends. That's what he was talking about, being a buzzkill. And that's why he has no friends. And that's why he's on this panel.
Boo.
So let's find out what Erin,
Yeah.
the dating advice girl, thinks.
Oh, Kevin, you're the best. So,
Hey, I'm glad to be.
yay! Thank you so much. And so I hope everything's going okay in snowy Philly.
Great.
Snowy Philly. What the fuck is Snowy Philly? All right, Church. If you said something that was okay, if I knew it was a joke.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Ha ha ha. That's funny.
It is funny.
Right. Fair enough. If you said something that was quite upsetting, let's just say, I'm going to go extreme here. I won't say it's you, but let's just say there was a white person,
Uh-huh.
a member of the Ku Klux Klan, meeting with a black person,
Uh-huh.
right? And clearly, the white person of the Ku Klux Klan says things like "your brain's small,"
Yeah.
Your
Phrenology's real, all that sort of stuff.
yeah. And the black person then says to him, like, challenges it in a nice way. Very appropriate to sort of go,
Absolutely.
you, Mr. KKK, you're clearly wrong here. But if we're just at a pub telling a joke,
Yeah.
that's totally different.
This is why he's talking about that buzzkill thing.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you this guy has no friends. Or he's... Like, that whole soy boy thing that goes around where they pretend to be really virtuous? Or like that the male feminist type of archetype.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but you're only doing it to get laid. Because it's like, oh, I will do anything for the woman because the woman's right. They have to... Like, when Milhouse goes, if I do anything Lisa says, she's bound to respect me.
No one's going to respect you. No one is going to respect.
You'll find someone that will respect you for having your own beliefs.
No, they're just going to use and abuse you.
Yeah, that's right, if you just get used.
Yeah.
So, let's continue on, because there's two other panelists on this.
How is that related to masculine? Oh, this is just...
Another introduction, let's go.
Yeah, all right.
But we're going to bring Hernando on just to talk about his final thoughts about the panel. Hi, Hernando.
Okay, I love...
So they've already done this panel, and now they're doing a podcast.
Type of thing, yeah.
Is it straight after the panel?
Yeah, I think it is. I think they're all just on the line. So I think the panel must have been like an online type of
But
panel.
because this is now because it's now going into a podcast.
Yeah.
You've got the MC person needs to repeat a number of things. You can't just go straight into
what you get out of it.
Well, we've just done this workshopy thing, but now because I'm only playing this recording, like I'm not playing the whole thing, you've got to reset.
Yeah.
You've got to, because people may not have listened to the workshop.
No, that's right. And in fact,
So you've got to put it back. You got to put it back into context.
And
for
I
people.
couldn't find the workshop online to listen to find the context.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to draw every little piece of information I can out for our listening audience at home.
Yeah.
And yourself, obviously. So, the next one. Let's just go back and listen to that clip again because...
Because if we're on radio, this is a reset.
Yeah.
It's currently 9:40. We're here at the We Only Do One Take podcast.
We'll
We'll be right back with more of the podcast consultants.
Absolutely. And we're back with the podcast consult. We're listening to the Erin Tillman, the Dating Advice Girl podcast, the latest one, and she's about to introduce another panelist on the show.
Yeah.
So let's listen to the clip now and listen to how the crisp, clean, and quality the audio is.
But we're going to bring Hernando on just to talk about his final thoughts about the panel. Hi, Hernando. Hey, Ken.
It sounds like someone... Do you know what a kill switch is?
No.
So, like a burp button on the radio where...
Oh,
like
the kill switch,
They press the button when they got to burp or sneeze and they just, press the button so it kills the... It sounds like someone's going...
Back in my radio days, I'm not sure if I ever told you I was on Student Youth Network.
I remember.
It's in 90.7. I had a show called Lipstick on a Pig in reference to Sarah Palin, in case you guys missed that. Only one person I ever knew actually got that reference. We learnt about the kill switch. I had to use the kill switch a few times.
We don't have one here. That's why it's as quality as it can get. So let's have a listen to. I think Hernandez or something like that is the next panelist talking about masculinity. But let's have a listen.
When you think of things like assertiveness or independence or strength, we sometimes attribute those to being masculine, but I think those are also feminine traits as well too. And we have to start after acknowledging that, for example, if I ask a client, describe these traits of masculinity, and they say something like that, and they might say, well, my favorite basketball player, LeBron James or Michael Jordan has that, or, Arnold Schwarzenegger has that, or some Avenger has that. I also say, well, that also sounds like Harriet Tubman too. I mean, that's a person who was assertive and fierce and had strength and courage and bravery. I mean, these are not traits that are singular to just one gender. And so I think all of us in our own way, we're trying to dismantle and deconstruct sort of this bi-gender kind of perception of these traits, when in fact I think there's a lot more fluidity and a lot more sort of integration that we all possess.
What the fuck is he talking about?
So, from what I understand, he's trying to say that things like heroism, or being strong, while we traditionally think of those as masculine, realistically, any gender can be that.
Yeah, of course.
So, but I think what they're not understanding is there's a reason why we call certain things masculine, because what we do is we give something a definition.
Yeah.
Very important for
I want to know, have any of these watched the UFC?
I don't know. But continue. What on your train of thought here?
I was having this conversation with someone else the other day who, a feminist, all for the women's rights. Yeah, and I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're talking about sport.
Right.
Right, and female competition not having, and I said, yeah, I agree. There's some sports that like women in the AFL, like the Premier League, just sort of started. So that's very far. That's behind the curve, right? But I said, yeah, but you also got to recognise that there's other areas. I was like, UFC,
Huge.
right? Huge. The women fight in the same day,
Yeah.
same event. There's multiple fights, men and women.
Yeah, we watched it with the McGregor fight that he lost.
There's like 5 fights, 6 fights, and 3 of them might be men, 2 of them might be women.
And that women sometimes are the headline.
Sometimes are the headline event.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're fucking beating the shit out of each other. And then I was saying, like, I actually really like watching the women. I like the men fighting, but I do like watching the women fight because they're not as strong, but they're more technical.
Yeah, there's something different about the style of fighting that they have. It's different. It's just as interesting, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
But you're right. But even like the soccer, women's soccer is still great because it's very technical, very that sort of thing.
And the feminist I was talking to was sort of upset because they were very much into. They had this theory or this idea and couldn't compute that like women would be fighting, like and have the same stage as men.
Because they're not looking outside their little bubble of what they know. They're looking at maybe the AFL.
Yeah.
You know, and like, oh, well, the women aren't getting paid as much. Whereas in the UFC, the women are. As long as they're good enough.
Yeah.
As long as they're good enough, Dana White will pay you as much as you can get.
Yep.
As long as you fucking fight. But in this case here...
So I have no idea what he was saying.
More than anything, like, words have definitions. And I think that's a really important thing for a culture to have, is not only a word, but a word, like the word have a defined definition that doesn't, like, can change over time, but is it generally understood enough by a population to be used in the vernacular of the people? So if you say he's very masculine, you think probably quite, you know,
physically strong,
assertive, you know, all that, those sort of things, you know, because those are the general traits. They're not the exact traits, but they're the general traits, you know. And with femininity, you think of other things. You think of petite, you think of a bit weaker, but you also think of beauty, you know. Different ends of the spectrum. We need that. Yes, there is definitely some crossover. But if you go, oh, this person was very masculine, and then you go, oh, were they very petite? No one's going to say yes.
No,
and I think that's the biggest thing. They're trying to break down or unlearn, which is a word I really hate.
Ah, that's why you sent me the text message about unlearning, which I thought I gave you an excellent response.
When they're talking about unlearning definitions of words, I think that's a really negative thing to do, because at the end of the day, words aren't there because they're, you know.
I think it's far easier to just go, my definition of this is A, B, C, X, Y, Z.
But you can't go that far away from the actual definition, because if you just go around and go, like, you know, you play guitar, right?
Yeah.
And then you call it a piano.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Both musical instruments.
Very close.
Yeah.
Oh, but they play notes. They play music. You can play multiple notes at once.
Very different.
But if you go, oh, I'm going to join this band as a piano player, and you rock up with a guitar, people go, that's a guitar. I go, well, I call it a piano. I define this as a piano.
When you're dealing with phenomenons, though, like when you're not dealing with hard things like a piano or a physical object, you really have to spend time defining it.
That's right. But that's why the definition is just as important, if not more important.
Well, the definition is more important.
Yeah, exactly right. So having a definition of masculinity, in this case, is actually important. If you just say it's everything, then it actually doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So this guy decided that what he learnt from the presentation was that they should change the definition to whatever the fuck he wants.
God, this is crazy.
Next one here.
Yeah, there are variations from the two things spectrum of feminine and masculine. And again, who makes up these rules for what it should be or shouldn't be, or who's the pinnacle, like, benchmark of who we're measuring ourselves to?
Okay, so society have decided that this is masculine and feminine. People, the regular, like, there's not like, you know, there's no Webster in Webster's dictionary that sits there and goes, I'm changing this. You know what I mean? It's not one guy or one girl. It's a general thing. Like, we go, that's masculine. What does that mean? Oh, like, strong. Oh, I understand that in my brain. In my head.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. And I don't understand why she doesn't accept that. Because it's not like just Americans accept that. If you go to Africa, who have never heard of these crazy concepts of polyamory, and you go, tell me what a man looks like, they're gonna go muscles, strong, you know. Oh, what's a woman like? Motherly, love, all that.
Yeah.
But they've never heard of these other, you know,
because there are very clear biological differences between male and female. The interesting, I think they're trying to touch on personal preferences here. Which is
so let's go on for that, because I'm gonna clip, and then you can talk about that.
We were taught a certain way, especially those of us who grew up in like 80s, 90s, like way back, you know. And it's like we learned a lot of binary ways of being, and so it's there's an unlearning happening, even for us duty. And so I think it's a beautiful thing to see my fellow educators like embracing that unlearning.
So this is what I was talking about, that unlearning that binary aspect of things. Well, yes, okay, things aren't as clear color. Like there's different shades of grey.
Yeah.
In this it's not a black and white type of world. But the black and white thing, like what they're talking about learning as in the 80s, 90s, I'm just assuming as children, what they're learning as children is the simplification of a very complex issue. And you're right, like I said, some boys like playing with Barbie dolls and some girls love playing with Lego. Usually we would say it's the other way around. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But if you were to ask someone what is traditionally masculine, they would say building with Lego.
Yeah.
And I think that's what she's not getting. This is a very simple concept, I think.
Because personal preferences are different. And as we move into the future, personal preferences are going to play a much bigger role in society. I actually think to the point where if you want to have fair skin, you can have fair skin. If you want to have black skin, you can have black skin. If you want to have like a more whitish skin, you can have whitish skin.
But the only reason
you'll be able to get that cosmetic surgery, and you'll be able to have that personal preference.
Yeah, exactly. But the only reason we have the choices to do those personal preferences is because we don't have to worry about hunting and gathering.
Correct.
And that's why I think that break away from that hunter-gathering naturalistic way of living.
We're in a science and technology civilization.
Exactly right.
Now.
Has given us and then this science and technology in this case has been very helpful in lots of cases. But in this case here, I think has deluded people so much because they're like, now I'm a special snowflake individual. I'm not quite a man. I'm pansexual and I change my gender.
That's fine. They can be that.
That's fine. But if
it doesn't change masculinity and femininity.
It doesn't change the masculinity and femininity, which is the question, what it is, and what do we do with it? Well, we don't do anything with it.
You don't.
So let's continue on. This is why Kevin doesn't have friends, by the way.
I particularly liked Kevin's concept of being a buzzkill. Like, it's okay to be a buzzkill. Like, and as someone who challenges masculinity, and like kind of embracing that, and that it's also that it's not necessarily about being perfect, but it's about unlearning, and it's a lifelong journey. And
so she's talking about how Kevin wants to tell his people off for being. This person's even gone even the next jump and gone, if someone's being very masculine or overtly masculine, you've got to buzzkill them and tell them to stop. So human nature, or male human nature, should be buzzkilled. Can you imagine the audacity of this woman? Can you imagine if I go to a woman and go, you've got to stop complaining about your PMS? Like, there's none of that. We can't. That's toxic femininity right there. Not only coming out of your mouth, but your pussy too. You can't have this anymore. Can you imagine?
You would be shot.
But she's just saying...
Good luck. Church may not be here next week.
That's right.
When this gets released.
But imagine but this woman has got, hey, you're talking about, like, lifting weights and working and all
Is it just this person doesn't want to lift weights?
Which is fine. They don't have to. That's their choice.
Yeah.
All of them stand like
I don't get them.
I don't get them. So let's have a look at this. Let's listen to the next bit. So this is the next speaker. I didn't catch her name because it wasn't important. But this is her other thought about the topic that they talked about. And this is where I knew I had to bring this in.
At one point during the workshop, you brought up trans masculinity and non-binary masculinity and how that's reshaping a lot of things too. Like including people of not binary gender in the conversation around masculinity. That's
okay. So
now, sorry, I'm going to take it a step back. Sorry, and I'm going to be a buzzkill right here.
Fucking go nuts.
What workshop? A workshop? I don't even think they understand what a workshop is. All right. Did I just hear non-binary masculinity and what else did I hear? Transmasculinity. Yeah. They don't even know what fucking masculinity is.
I know. So they haven't been able to define something, and now they want to add prefixes before it
to something they haven't even defined.
Yes. I need to know.
Male who's become female can be masculine, and a female who's become male can be masculine. or can be feminine,
Or
or
someone
could be
who's-
somewhere on that spectrum.
or someone who is bisexual. So I don't understand why sexuality aspects of it come into the masculine, feminine type. Like, if you like having sex with anybody, or like men and women, you know, which is different to pansexuals. I don't know. I'm just going to continue on. But if you like having sex with males and females, you can still be like. There's lots of masculine gay men, and there's lots of masculine lesbians.
Yeah.
You know,
And there's lots of feminine lesbians. And there's lots of feminine gay men.
exactly right. So I'm like, yeah, great. That would be the discussion we would have, and we'd put it to a side and go, what about the trans? And go, well, they're transitioning. They're either wanting to become a man or they're wanting to become a female. This is what always confused me. Like, there was like, oh, gender is a spectrum, but trans people literally want to transition from one gender to another. They never go, I'm transitioning from a man to a bisexual, or a demi-sex. Like, there's no, like, very simple, you know, 1 and 2. I don't understand why this is even brought up, or why someone would think this is a good topic to talk about, because it doesn't. It has no implication. If you just say bi masculinity, it literally means the same thing as masculinity.
Doesn't it? Well, I don't even know what they're trying to talk about.
Okay, this is the one I call projection.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, we've all grown up learning a lot of toxicity, regardless of gender, and so it's a lot of, like you said, unlearning, relearning things, etc., etc.
What toxicity?
It sounds like
This sounds like if I'm going to put this in a university context.
Please.
Someone's proposing a research project, and they go through this research project and they propose it, and then the academic staff sit there, and it's almost like, let me open my can of whoop-ass because you haven't thought about anything. You're about to do this study, and the data you're going to get, you're not even going to be able to infer a correlation.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many problems.
But it sounded like this. Like, oh, everyone has to learn. I was like, well, I don't. Like, masculinity is a good thing for mostly, I would say. And it served me well because it, you know, it makes me part of the person that I am.
I have to admit, I don't really think I've thought about masculinity or any of this stuff.
Well, I think that's another thing. And I was going to bring this up with you.
I mean,
I want your opinion as well.
I go to the gym.
Yeah.
I do work. I hang out with people.
I think these people, and this is what I'm talking about, like, people have got a lot more time in their hands because they're not farming.
Yeah.
Right? I think the fact that these people have so much time that they've got this much to think about they've talked about masculinity on a panel for an hour and a half, and then after this, like an hour and a half, 15, 20 minutes. And yet they've talked about absolutely nothing.
Oh.
Can you, if these people lived 100 years ago, they would have been killed.
They would have absolutely have died.
died, and no one would have cared.
Yeah.
You know?
It would have been like, are you farming? No.
Are you farming? No. Oh, I don't feel like very masculine today. Great, you can still pick up a shovel.
Yeah, we've got to do work on our farm.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if you're a man, woman, or child. You get the pickaxe and you plant seeds.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yes, you can't. You're a woman. You probably can't lift a big bag of seeds, but you pad the 50% full bag of seeds, and let the man who is masculine carry the 100% full bag of seeds, and you go from there. So this show is just insane. I want to listen to more, but I just hate her voice.
These are the ones that drive me mad.
Yeah.
Because I just go, you're talking about nothing. There's nothing here
There's no of value.
Of quality.
Yeah.
Maybe we're both wrong.
Maybe.
Right, maybe we're both wrong. But there's nothing in there that even goes, oh, yeah, I can see how this group of people have been impacted and affected.
Yep.
And that's really bad.
Yep.
And now I understand why making these jokes is actually a bad thing, which I thought was funny, but maybe I should...
Yeah, maybe think again.
I'm not getting anything from that.
And I'm going to say, you know, we try to cut out things from the show. You'll notice that in this episode. But please, at least you would cut something like this out of an episode.
So thank you so much.
you. And remind me, I pushed this little X up in the top corner, right?
Yes.
To get up. Okay. Just want to make sure. Thank you. Bye. Have a great day.
You too.
Do I click the X button to leave? Yes, you do. You know what you should do? That 10 seconds. I know that 10 seconds or 11 seconds was prime audio,
Yeah.
but maybe cut it out.
Yeah,
of your
cut
show.
it out.
How's this one? The only thing else I know, you probably noticed there was some clips she says her voice is like a Muppet.
Uh-huh.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
So I've got this Yay collection.
Oh, yay.
And tell me which Muppet you think it is.
Yay! Bye! Woo! Yay! Yay! Yeah, and
I don't know my Muppet, so
I think it was Grover.
Grover, right? Okay.
You know, it was Super Grover.
Yeah, don't.
The
yeah.
masculine hero that he was.
That joke's don't.
No, just right over your head.
Yeah, it's gone. Whew.
I'm very sorry. So that was Erin Tillman, the dating advice woman.
So how does masculinity have to do with anything with dating?
I don't really know. I kind of just want to listen to an episode. I've been trying to find an episode of her just talking about dating advice,
Yeah.
but it seems like she's just jumped the shark and is talking to people
About everything and everything
about
else.
everything else.
Which you can do in podcast world.
You can, but if you're going, I'm a dating advice expert, like that's how you pitch yourself, I would. You know what? Remember we did that review of that Porn Stars show, and she gave dating advice. That had more dating advice in it than the 4 episodes that I've listened to. And that says like, I know to buy my woman a quail egg.
You're quail egg, that's right.
and you know, and she wants quails and take a quail hunting eventually. I'll do an indoor picnic. You know, I learned more from it. Was funnier, and it was more entertaining, and I learnt more than I did from this whole thing about these people not even being able to define a word where you could Google it and get the answer.
Unless it's the news now. Google's banned the... Oh, no. Facebook banned the news.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Who really... I don't know. Just means I can't get any Channel 7 spam of classic current affair articles. The horror! I'm missing that, or Today Tonight, or whatever show they've got on that channel.
Whatever it is.
But,
Church, this has been fun.
I love these parts of the show. I love it. I love the podcast consultants bit that we do. I really do. But if people want to find out more about our show and listen to other episodes, even like the Bridget B podcast that we reviewed, that's the part of our Wanktober. I think Dan, the comedian, was on that show. Fantastic.
Dan the man.
Dan the man. But if for all your other wanking needs, make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you'd like to send us some hate mail, a death threat, or a rant, or help us define words, record it on your phone, or email us at weonlydowonetechpodcast@gmail.com. Kieran, so good to actually have you in studio for this part of the.
I have to admit, I was ready to break fucking lockdown on Tuesday and come here. I hate doing it over Skype. It's just not the same interaction.
It's not as fun. It's not as fun. We can't do the banter. It's quite as quick. We can't. There's a delay. It's not as quick.
But thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you next Thursday.